In the year 1941, beneath the limestone expanse of the Rock of Gibraltar, a team of specialized miners worked under a veil of utmost secrecy. Their task was not to create a fortification for generals but to construct a tomb. As the British War Office observed ominously from across the English Channel, Hitler's forces prepared for an assault dubbed Operation Felix, aimed at capturing Gibraltar. Should the rock fall, the Axis powers would dominate the Mediterranean, choking Allied supply lines and potentially altering the course of the war. Facing a dire circumstance, Britain devised a contingency plan, one so extreme that it would haunt those involved. Rear Admiral John Henry Godfrey proposed a chilling scheme. If Gibraltar succumbed, the British would leave operatives behind, not as fighters but as ghosts. This plan, named Operation Tracer, entailed sealing 6 men inside a hidden cavern 1,300 feet above the sea. These men would have 2 narrow observation slits, one overlooking the Bay of Gibraltar and the other the Mediterranean. They were tasked with gathering intelligence on enemy movements via a secret radio transmitter while remaining entirely undetected. However, the conditions were daunting. Once the Axis troops claimed the rock, bricklayers would permanently seal the cave's entrance. No doors, no escape routes, no rescue missions. The 6 men would be locked away with a staggering supply of water and provisions to last up to 7 years. They were explicitly instructed that leaving was never an option. If the war extended for a decade, they would endure it in silence. Pain, illness, or madness would be theirs to cope with alone. To combat the psychological toll of such a fate, the team was carefully selected, including an executive officer, 3 covert radio operators, and 2 physicians, surgeons Bruce Cooper and Arthur Milner. The War Office understood that the greatest threat was not starvation but the deterioration of the mind. Living in a damp, confined space, perpetually listening to enemy soldiers nearby, could unravel even the strongest human psyche. The physicians' roles extended beyond mere medical oversight. They were integral in maintaining sanity and managing the heavier reality of mortality. The grim arrangement required that if a man died in the cave, his body would remain interred beneath the dirt floor where the others lived. Thus, every element of the stay-behind cave was engineered for complete silence. Thick cork tiles lined the floors to prevent any sound from escaping and alerting the enemy above. Power for the radio was ingeniously derived from a custom-built bicycle, which the men would pedal to generate electricity without the noise of a generator. By the summer of 1942, the chamber was ready, and the 6 men arrived at Gibraltar, prepared to step into their grave. They underwent rigorous training, learning food rationing, equipment maintenance, and the psychological endurance needed for their grim mission. They waited in the dark, anticipating the moment that would seal their fate. Yet, as global tides turned, their order to entomb themselves never arrived. By mid-1943, Allied forces had secured victories in North Africa and advanced into Italy, diminishing the threat to Gibraltar. Operation Felix was abandoned, and the rock remained under British control. With the danger neutralized, Operation Tracer was quietly decommissioned. The 6 men, bound by the Official Secrets Act, carried an unbearable secret they could never share with loved ones. Provisions were removed from the cave, and the entrance bricked up permanently. For decades, whispers of Operation Tracer faded into local lore, dismissed by historians as myth. Then, in December 1996, a team exploring uncharted tunnels near Lord Airy's Battery felt a draft emanating from a blank wall. Carefully, they broke through the rubble, only to find a chamber covered in decaying cork tiles and a water tank, complete with observation slits and remnants of the bicycle generator. The myth was real. 2 years later, Dennis Woods, one of the original builders, visited Gibraltar to validate the haunting discovery. Today, the stay-behind cave stands as a chilling monument to the Second World War, a space that echoes the sacrifices of 6 ordinary men who vanished into darkness for the sake of a world that needed to remain in the light.